Hey Pretty Girl Club, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. This video is going to be about how I gained 11,000 subscribers on YouTube. So part of the reason why I think this is important to talk about is because you guys know that I talk a lot about pretty girl problems on this channel. So I am a really big proponent of pretty women getting out of workplaces where you have to deal with basic betties. So whether that is working from home or starting your own business. And I think that YouTube is like something that is very accessible. Like you can make a YouTube channel just from your phone. You don't even have to show yourself if you don't want to. You can talk about whatever you want and whatever you're passionate about. But one of the ways that I gained 11,000 subs on here, and I'm not going to tell you just basic stuff like, oh, just be consistent. No. Like for me, the way that I do it is I try to make sure that I'm always having fun when I'm creating the content. So like I try to talk my shit. Another thing that I do is I do not obsess over the numbers, like the analytics and stuff. So I don't say, oh no, this video got less views. Like I'm really sad now. I used to be that type of person where if a video got less views or if I didn't do as well, then I would be upset about it. But now I've learned that I'm just creating the type of content that I would want to watch. And I am doing this channel for me first, and then whoever likes it, likes it. And this is also why I block people who come on my channel to like complain. And then they say, well, I don't like it. Why do you only talk about MLS women? Why do you only talk about pretty girls? What about ugly girls? What about this? I'm like, I'm making content that I feel is relatable to myself and content that I would want to watch. And that has helped me remain consistent as opposed to just kind of chasing the subscribers and stuff like that, or kind of chasing views. The way that I like to think of it is I am attracting subscribers or views or AdSense money. Like I'm attracting those things. I'm not chasing it. So I like to think of it as kind of like more in a feminine way, I guess. That's just the best word I can use to describe it. I don't know why I've been talking so much about like femininity lately, but I really do feel like that's the best term I can use. I try to go about YouTube in a feminine way. So I'm not chasing things. I'm not pursuing things like, oh, I'm pursuing XYZ. I'm chasing this. Like I'm trying to impress people and like trying to court them to come subscribe to my channel. No, I view it as I'm creating from like this feminine creative space and I'm making it fun for myself. And even with like the pictures and images that I use on my channel, like for the thumbnails and for like my logos and banners. Well, I don't really have any logos, but like for my Exoticals United poster or the images that I use within the videos, I try to have fun with that too. So even when I'm editing, I will go on Google and then I'll look up like black girl baddie aesthetic. And then I will pick out women who I feel have a similar phenotype to myself or women who I feel have a similar phenotype to the audience. And I will try to incorporate those images into the picture. And I do that because that is my way of having fun while creating the content. I try to give the vibe of like the type of person that I would want to attract. So I'm trying to attract women on this channel who are as similar to me as possible. So that's why I only talk about things that I am interested in and passionate about. I'm not trying to chase the trends or like just follow along what everyone else is talking about, because my goal is with this channel, I want to have the freedom to create things that I actually like creating, as opposed to kind of like trapping myself in a particular niche. And then 1 year later, I'm like, oh, I don't like that niche. Another thing that I like to do that gets me in the mood for creating content is I like to kind of set the atmosphere in my bedroom. So I make content in my bedroom, like literally from my bed. And I like to set everything up so that I feel more creative. So for example, right now, I am sitting in my bed. I have opened my blinds up so I can let the sunlight in. This video is being recorded in the morning, so I love like getting natural sunlight in my room. And I've got like some fruits sitting next to me. I've got my water bottle next to me. I've got some Gatorade next to me. And I even have my vitamins like on my nightstand right now. So I have all of the stuff that I like, and I kind of create an atmosphere to get me in a safe space, to get me in a creative space. Like that is how I do this in kind of more of a feminine way. That's just the best way I can describe it, is by using the word feminine. I do it from a space of, no, I'm creating, I am birthing something. Like this channel is like my baby. You know, these people, the girls that come on here, you guys are like my sisters or like my feminine family. That's the way that I like to think of YouTube. I don't like to think of social media as I'm in a competition. You know how a lot of men tend to think about things like from a masculine perspective? It's like, no, I'm competing with these people. I need my product to be better than theirs. I need to do better marketing than them. I need to do XYZ better than them. I need to stand out more than them. I don't really have that mindset. I have the mindset of I already stand out because no two human beings are exactly the same. So it's like we could make videos about the exact same topics. Like for those of you who are following this channel and you started your own channels talking about similar things, you could talk about the same exact title. Like you could have the same title for your video and then make a video and it's still going to come out differently than how I make my videos because we all articulate ourselves differently. We all have different experiences. We all have slightly different perspectives and stuff. So there's going to be nuance. So that's another thing that has helped me to stay consistent and become more confident over time is like realizing that even if I tried to copy someone, I could not successfully copy them because I am not them. So no matter what I create, it's always going to have its own uniqueness because nobody talks like me, nobody thinks like me. And that's true for all of you guys watching. And also, that is a part of why I wanted you guys to comment and like put your channels on here. So YouTube, it keeps on putting you guys' comments in my held for review section if you leave the link. But if you just comment on this channel and say, hey, I have a YouTube channel, click on my profile picture, then people will be able to click on you. They'll be able to click on your face and follow your channel. So please be sure to leave that down below. Let people know if you have a channel. Oh, that's another thing that helped me to kind of get to where I am is I was not afraid to interact with other content creators within my niche or comment on their channels because sometimes when you comment on other people's channel, sometimes people might click on your face and then they might say, oh, what's this? And especially if you have a name that shows that you are an actual YouTube channel. Like I saw there's Exotical Dollhouse, there's Pretty Girl Anonymous, there's All Mixed Up, the MGM YouTube channel, there's Creole Lady Marmalade, Brown Skin Exoticals. So if you have a name like that, it really does also help you to stand out too, like making an actual channel name as opposed to Sarah123 or something. Like some people may not click on that because they may think, oh, that's just an email account and they're just commenting. But another thing that has really helped me to grow the channel and kind of like stay consistent, honestly, I talk about this all the time, it was Decentering Men. Decentering Men was pivotal in me growing my channel to 10,000 subscribers and above because I noticed when I was more male-centered, my channel plateaued around 5,000 to 6,000. It plateaued for like a couple of years. And that's because my main priority at that time was I was going through a divorce. Then I was like trying to get back into the dating market and all that. And I was kind of prioritizing men or prioritizing the possibility of a man over my YouTube channel. And it's like, all of those hours that I spent hanging out with a guy or just kind of being at his house, or I had some boyfriend and I'm at his house, I'm not on schedule with my YouTube, I'm not working on my goals, I was just trying to help him meet his goals. All of those hours that I spent could have easily been used to grow this YouTube channel. Honestly, I feel like you guys, if you're a new person on YouTube, especially if you're in the same niche as me and you're kind of talking about multiculturalism and stuff, I actually feel like you guys can grow faster than I did because for me, I pretty much effed off on YouTube for like the first 2 years because I was a lot more male-centered and I felt like guys aren't really going to like it as much if I just say, oh, I'm a content creator. So I didn't prioritize making my content. But this is something that is so much fun and it's something that has really changed my life. And honestly, I don't really care if I ever become the most famous YouTuber or like the biggest channel in the world. That was another thing that helped me to continue growing. It was not putting pressure on myself and just coming at it from this feminine, creative perspective. Like, I just wanted it to be fun. And when I sit down to create content, I try to get in the mindset of, okay, I'm about to make some videos for the Pretty Girl Club. And also another thing that really helped me to grow was I used this YouTube channel and the small achievements that I had, I used that to contribute to my own self-confidence and self-esteem because I was like, oh, wow, there are 100 people subscribed to me. Wow, that means that I must have something important to say. Like imagine a room full of 100 people. So even if you only have 20 subscribers, 5 subscribers, 10 subscribers, that is still, those are people. So it's like you can imagine yourself talking in front of a room full of 5 people, 10 people, or 20 people. And that's going to help you to put things in perspective as opposed to comparing yourself to somebody who has like 1 million subscribers. Because there are so many channels online where I'm like, oh my gosh, this channel is so good. It has like 2 million subscribers. They're doing like full on documentaries. Like, I wish that I could edit like that. I wish that I could do the same type of content. But that is not very helpful to my audience, and that's not being authentic. So I guess the biggest thing with me was trying to be as authentic as possible and keeping my content authentic and not just following like, oh, the other women's content creators, they're all talking about XYZ, so let me try to hop on that. I only hop on something if I genuinely am interested in it and I feel like it's relevant to me and I feel like I'm going to have fun creating it. If I'm not going to have fun making it, I'm not going to end up finishing it, and it's going to start to train my brain to have the mindset of creating content sucks, and I don't want that to be the case. I don't ever want this to stop being fun. In fact, when this stops being fun, I will stop the whole YouTube channel, but I don't think that's ever going to happen because I am very intentional with making sure that my content is fun. And when I say making sure that it's fun, I mean making sure that it's fun for me to create. So like this video right here, how I gained 11,000 subs on YouTube, this has nothing to do with MLS women. This has nothing to do with Exoticals. It has nothing to do with like pretty privilege. But I am having fun creating this because I feel like there are women out there who are watching this channel who want to start their own channels, but they don't know where to begin. And there is no right place to begin. So that's another thing that actually held me back in the beginning. So many people, especially men. So like before I started Descentering Men on this channel and stuff, I had a lot of male followers who would try to siphon off the women on this channel. They would try to use my channel as like a dating app, or they would try to gradually control and influence the content I created. But I remember I had so many voices in my ear like, oh no, you need to promote it like this. Oh no, you need to do this type of thumbnail. No, you have to do XYZ. And the less voices I let be in my ear, the better my content actually was. So the more I began to actually shut other people out and say, nope, I'm not going to allow them to like control what I do, the more I shut other people out, the more I was able to hear my own inner voice and my own like heart's desire as far as what I wanted to create. And then I just create the video and I'm like, look, whoever can relate to this can relate to this. Like my one video, I thought that video was going to do so bad. I did a video called Why Do People Stare at the Pretty Girl? That's one of the best performing videos on this channel. I didn't think that anybody else would even be able to relate to that. I was like, okay, I'll just post this video because I've been thinking about it and like maybe people will relate to it, but maybe they won't, and that's okay. I mean, maybe it'll just get a couple hundred views. That's one of the top performing videos on this channel. And the reason why, in my opinion, is because I was vulnerable enough to talk about something that I've been thinking about, and I wasn't sure if other people could relate or not, but I was courageous enough to speak on it. And so that's another thing that has helped me to grow, and I think that can help you guys to grow if you have a YouTube channel. It's having the courage to speak on a dynamic that relates to you personally, or telling your personal story. Also, I do happen to have a background in journalism, so that's what I was doing before this. Well, a long time before this. That was one of my many careers. So what they taught us in journalism and what I've used on this YouTube is the who, what, when, where, and why. So for example, this channel is about mixed race women. It's about multiracial Black women. It's about pretty privilege. Okay, that's who the channel is for. Why are those things important? Why is it important to talk about exoticals? Why is it important to talk about pretty girl problems? Why should people care? Why should people subscribe to my channel? Why should people subscribe to my Patreon? So in all of my videos, I do my best to answer the who, what, when, where, why, and how. Like, how does this affect others? How does this affect the Black community as a whole? How does this affect male and female friendships? I try to really get into the nitty gritty and describe exactly what it is I'm talking about, because I've noticed that that is what the viewers like. They like it when you really start to describe it. And I guess this video is more towards people who have channels where they are talking about something. People like it when you kind of describe it. I know it might seem like, oh, this is going to be such a boring video. That's what I used to think. I used to be like, my channel is going to be so boring. Like, it's never going to pass 500 subscribers because nobody cares about light-skinned issues. Nobody cares about mixed race people. People are going to find it so boring. for me to sit there and talk for 20 minutes about being light skinned. That sounds so dumb. Like, people are not going to listen to that. That's what I used to think at first. But I've realized that people come onto this app because they want to search, they want to search for light skinned issues or beauty content or tarot readings or whatever it is. Like, you are already in their algorithm, so that means that they were already searching for it. And if you were not in their algorithm, they won't click on the video. So you don't have to worry about them anyway. And another thing that also helped me to grow is realizing that I can make as much content as I want. So like, I was kind of scared at first, like, oh, if I keep on making a lot of videos talking about light-skinned people or pretty girls, people are going to think like, oh my God, she's so annoying. Like, get off my channel. Like, nobody cares. Or get off of my algorithm. By the way, if you hear like leaf blowers and lawnmowers and stuff in the background, I'm sorry. But at first I was like, oh, people are going to get annoyed by all of my content. They're going to want me to like get off of their algorithm. But what I've learned is that if people don't want you on their algorithm, they will take you off their algorithm. So you don't have to worry about that. Because the way YouTube works is they're only going to recommend your video. They're not going to recommend it to all of your subscribers, first of all. They're only going to recommend your video to people who have clicked on your other videos before, or they're going to recommend it to people who have been searching for content that is similar to yours, or they are watching other creators who are similar to you. Another thing that has helped me to grow on YouTube is to stop worrying about like everything being perfect. So my editing being perfect, my talking points being perfect. I'm not going to be perfect on YouTube. I'm not going to say everything perfectly on this channel. As I learn and develop, I'm going to grow. My talking points may change depending on how much information I learn, or, I may mess up my words sometimes, and that's okay. So one thing that I used to be scared of in the past was like, oh my gosh, what if I say something wrong and then people start roasting me? That was my MacBook charger in the background. But that was my mindset in the past. I used to be kind of scared, like, oh, what if I say something bad or say something wrong, and then people make audio clips of me and then they start like talking shit? Well, the bottom line is people are going to do that as you grow, but that's also a sign that you have made it anyway. Because at the end of the day, this is just the internet. Like, I'm not going to meet anybody. We're not going to meet face to face. We're not going to meet in person. This is literally a replacement for a TV show. Like, that's literally how I see YouTube. And I've noticed that that's how people see me. It's like, this channel is basically like them just watching TV. So it's really not serious. It's not that serious or whatever. Back when I used to do live streaming, I did notice that people had more of a tendency to try to invade my privacy or try to like dox me and stuff like that. But that was more so when I had a lot of men on this channel. I've noticed the only people that I've had that have been crazy have been the guys on here for the most part. Those are the ones that have done the stalking and stuff. But ever since I started making Decentering Men content, I have done a good job at repelling the dust. So I haven't really had that problem. Oh, and another tip that I have, if you are on YouTube and you are not going to show yourself, I like not showing myself because, number one, I like looking ugly and being able to record like in my bed. Like, I literally look ugly right now. Like, I have no makeup on. I'm just sitting here with my fruits and just living my best life. But the reason that I like doing it faceless is because it's a lot more convenient. So I can record at 3 a.m. and I'm not showing my face. So it's like, I don't have to get up. I don't have to set up lighting. I don't have to make sure the angle is good or make sure that like you can't see if my weave is showing or something. I don't have to worry about that. So that's why I like not showing myself. At first I was like, oh, maybe it won't be as fun not showing myself because the validation portion of it, maybe I won't feel as validated or as seen because I'll feel like I'm still invisible or something like that. But no, that's not the case. And by the way, it is okay to want positive validation. I think that everybody wants validation, and that's normal. It's normal to want to feel seen. It's normal to want to feel heard. It's normal to want to be respected and for people to listen to you. So this YouTube channel has really done a really great job of achieving that for me. I do feel seen and heard on this channel, but the way that I feel seen and heard is by making you guys also feel seen and heard. And another thing that has also helped me to grow on here was just sharing my personal stories. So you may think that nobody can relate to your story, like nobody can relate to being stared at in the grocery store. Like, that is so small to the point where nobody should be able to relate to that, right? But no, once I made videos like, hey, I get stared at in the beauty supply store, or hey, people like to look at me at Walmart, or why do people stare at you when you're walking down the street and stuff? That was actually relatable. So even something as simple as making videos where you just share your story, even if you don't show yourself, even if it's just one picture on the screen the whole time, that's okay. You'd be surprised at the type of content people like to watch. Like for me, I love to watch long ass live streams, but I don't want to do them though. Like, I don't want to do a long live stream. Oh, by the way, be sure to follow my backup channel, Exoticals Unfiltered, because I am probably going to start live streaming from that channel eventually. I just have to buy the StreamYard subscription. I have to pay for it so that people can call in. But just telling my story and kind of having a listening ear and hearing the positive comments. Oh, that's another thing. Okay, I'm like all over the place, but whatever. So when you start your YouTube channel, at first you might think, oh, I only got 5 views. Like, oh, this is trash. Like, nobody cares about my channel. No, just wait until those comments start rolling in, because that's what happened to me. I started this channel. I was really bad at audio editing. So when I started this channel, part of why I was starting it was so I could practice my audio editing and stuff like that. And my audio editing was so bad to the point where my whole entire voice, I accidentally made my voice like 3 octaves lower on GarageBand. But I was like, whatever, I'm not taking these videos down. Like, the video has been made, so I'm gonna go on YouTube. But anyway, at first I was like, nobody cares. I only have like 5 subscribers. It only got like 16 views. But you guys started leaving comments, and then people started leaving long comments, like paragraph long comments telling their experiences and stuff. And that was actually the fuel that kept me going, was when people started commenting. Even though I had a tiny channel, seeing people commenting and saying, oh my gosh, yes, I've been told I'm not that light skinned. Oh my gosh, yes, I've been told that I look too dark to be mixed. Or I've been told that if I'm not 50-50 black, white, biracial, that I don't count, and that I'm just trying to escape my blackness or have self-hatred. So telling my story and then seeing people comment and stuff, that really inspired me and like motivated me to keep on going. Another thing that helped me to grow is embracing like my weird qualities. Sorry, I was like eating some berries just now. But embracing my weird qualities. So I feel like when I talk, I feel like I can ramble on and on and on and just talk forever. But thankfully, you guys seem to like that. So now I don't really have a problem rambling. Like my whole life, people have told me in school, they'd be like, oh, she's always talking in class, and like she's always talking to people and stuff. And, you know, people used to make it like it was an annoying quality, or people would like make it as if it was negative to be a talkative person, or to kind of like want to talk for a long time about one topic. But I have learned to embrace that, and that has helped me to grow on YouTube. So if you're the type of person where maybe you're really random and you like talking for a long time, trust me, if that person clicked on your video, and for those watching, if you were still watching this video 23 minutes in, then you probably would watch if I kept on rambling on and on. So that's the thing that I've learned, is that it's not about the numbers. It's not about having 10,000 views. It's about having 10 people who will watch the entire video all the way through, because that's what YouTube rewards anyway, by the way. They reward your channel. Like, your channel goes up in the algorithm based on watch time. So a channel that has 10 views, but 10 people watch the whole video, versus a channel that has 100 views and they only watch the video for 15 seconds, the person with the 10 views and the longer average view duration, their channel is going to get pushed by the algorithm. Like, that's the reason why my channel is being pushed by the algorithm, and why I'm growing in subs and all that, is because when I make the videos where they're lasting for a long time, or when I do the exotical story times to where I'm actually telling you guys the stories and I'm responding to them, YouTube views that as, oh, people are really interacting with this channel, versus they're looking at it for 10 seconds and scrolling past it. Another thing that also made me take YouTube seriously was, so when I was at 6,000 subscribers, I was still working at my 9-to-5 job. I was an accountant, and I hated that job. I need to make a story time about that, because that lady was crazy as fuck. But anyway, so I hated my job. My supervisor would literally yell my name across the hall. So her office was like on the other side of the hallway. And anytime she would hear me talking to someone or laughing with someone, she would literally yell my name. So, first of all, that is psychotic behavior. Who yells somebody's name from across the office when you're in an accounting office? Like it's a professional setting. Why are you yelling? But anyway, so at that time, I was like, okay, look at my life right now. If I stay in this job, I'm going to be in this job 5 years from now. I'm going to still be working here. I'm going to still be working as an accountant because I don't have an accounting degree. So the fact that I even became an accountant in the first place, honestly, that's a miracle. I mean, the fact that people, they believed in me enough so that I could become an accountant or whatever, that's great. So I knew whatever job I have right now in finance, this is the highest I'm going to go unless I get like a master's or something, which I'm not going to do. So I was like, this is the job that I'm going to be in for the rest of my life. Do I want to spend my life like this? 5 years from now, I could be an accountant, still working at this company or working at some other company as an accountant because this is the highest paying job that I've ever had. So I kind of would be stuck in this field. Or I can try to get a new job. So at first I was like, you know what? Let me switch careers again. Let me try to get another job. And I remember interviewing for this program coordinator style position. So I've had those positions before. And I was like, this job is not even as hard as an accountant. So like I could easily get this job. Tell me why I literally went through 3 interviews and these bitches still rejected me. I was like, I went through 3 interviews. I requested all that time off work. I was over here like kind of networking and schmoozing, and it got all the way to the point of negotiating a salary. So I don't know if my salary like wants were too high or something. I don't think that they were because honestly, I did not ask for a lot of money at all, but literally they rejected me. And so then that was when I really examined my life and I was like, I'm not going to spend my life like this. I was like, I am not going to be over here at a job and then 6 months into the job, I'm going to be dissatisfied with it. So then I'm going to be looking for a new job and kind of in this interviewing process, like constantly going through interview after interview, trying to escape the last job so I can get to the next job. And then 6 months later, I'm trying to escape that job. I'm not going to spend my life like this. I'm not doing this. I'm not switching careers and switching jobs every 6 months because, by the way, that is what I was doing. So the longest I have ever stayed at a job in my life was a year and a half. And I only stayed at that one job for a year and a half because I had a float position. So that was when I was an admin. I was doing like administrative stuff, like receptionist. That was in my early 20s. So the only reason I stayed in that position was because it was a float receptionist slash admin assistant person. And I got to go to different offices like every week or every couple of days. Looking back, that was a stupid job because why would I want to drive to a different location every week? But I was in my early 20s, so I was just happy to have a job. But I've noticed that I always had this pattern of getting into a new job, being excited at first, especially if it was a career switch. Like when I became an accountant, I was so happy. I was like, oh my God, I became a freaking accountant. Like, this is the shit. I was so excited at first, but then as I got into it, I still had the same symptoms of burnout and like not really wanting to be at the job. And it didn't matter. Even if the job had the perfect environment and the people were nice, I still became dissatisfied because deep down inside, I felt like I was wasting my life. Deep down inside, I felt like, okay, is this the only way that I can make money? I knew that deep down inside, I was just scared because that's another thing. I think I might make a video of like what I wish I would have told myself or something like that because one thing that I really wish I would have had the confidence to do throughout my entire life, well, now I have the confidence because I quit that job, but before I used to have a mindset of the only way I can have stability is if I have a 9 to 5 professional job. That is the only route to financial stability for me. And I think part of that has to do with my background. Both of my parents are from the hood, my mom and dad. They're both from the hood, but they were able to kind of build themselves up to where me and my siblings grew up in the suburbs. But I think that maybe my parents just had a mindset of having, going to college and having a 9 to 5, that is the most financially stable thing to do. And I do think that it's worth it if you want to get an education or you do want to climb the corporate ladder. I think that for some people, they want to do that and that's fine. But I realized that I was not one of those people. But I was just so scared to quit my job, not just because of like the financial piece, but it was really because of like what others would think of me. It was because I was scared that my parents or whatever guy I was dating or my friends. I was afraid that they would all look down on me if I said, hey, I quit my job so I could do YouTube and then I'm doing like Uber on the side, or I'm doing DoorDash on the side, or I'm like working at a coffee shop on the side, or I'm a bottle girl at a club at nights and then, I do my content during the week. I was afraid of the reactions that other people would have to my jobs. But then one thing I realized was that, okay, as I made friends in this city and stuff, we never even talk about jobs. Like, I don't know the companies that my friends work for. I don't know the names of the companies. I know that one of my friends just started a new job, but I do not know her exact job title. Like, once you get to be an adult, once you get into your 20s and 30s and stuff, nobody gives a fuck. Like, seriously, nobody cares. And especially if you are in your 20s and 30s and above and you are in a friendship circle, or like you're making friends with people, they don't want to talk about work. That's one thing that I realized, and that was so comforting to me, was realizing, wait a minute, my friends or whatever guy I might be dating and all that, they don't want to talk about work. So no, they're not going to be asking details like, oh, what exactly do you do? And then like, how much money do you make? And then what's your schedule like? And why did you quit your job? They're not asking that. Anybody who actually cares about you is going to be asking you about your actual passions. So like with my friendships, we like to go out to concerts and stuff. So we'll be talking about the concert. We will be talking about like, I don't know, other stuff that's going on in our lives, like our personal lives, I guess, or our hobbies and passions. We don't talk about work. Like, oh, do you still work at the same place? No. And also, if you are around people like that, I would suggest getting away from those people, or you can just tell your parents or whoever, just tell them, hey, just so you know, I am no longer going to work 9-to-5 jobs because I feel like it's not for me. So I thrive more when I am working as a bartender on the side while I do my entrepreneur business full time. So that was the biggest thing that I learned that helped me to get my content to over 10,000 subs. I would not have passed 10,000 subscribers had I not quit my job, because the content demand became so high for this channel, and it still is so high at this point, to where you cannot even grow. Like, I don't even have enough time in the day to create all of the content that I want to create, which, number one, that is a wonderful problem to have. That's a privilege. The fact that you have so many ideas and so many things that you want to talk about, that means that you are filled with creativity. That means that you are filled with opportunities. That means your life is full of potential. And so for me, I realized that it was better to quit my job and then, make ends meet however I need to, whether it's selling stuff online or whatever, and then just really push when it came to my content, because I love doing it. So it doesn't feel like work. And think about it. When you're creating content, you're literally getting paid, or you are eventually going to get paid to just ramble, or you're going to get paid to do your makeup. You're going to get paid to stream video games or whatever your channel is about. So it's not something where it's like it's going to be as hard as a 9-to-5 job, or at least for me. My stress level, first of all, I literally lost weight. I lost weight when I quit my job. Once I quit and transitioned into doing YouTube and then just doing whatever side gigs I needed to do if I ever was like low on money, I thought that I would be so much more stressed out. I thought that I would feel financially insecure and like, oh my gosh, I have to like hurry up and work for like 13 hours a day and I'm going to be super tired and stuff. No, it was the exact opposite. So I lost weight because a part of the bad habits that I had at my job, and part of why I started bringing Trader Joe's to work and putting it in the fridge, is because when I was at work, I would be naturally stressed out. And I didn't realize it, but I would be naturally stressed out, more so from dealing with my supervisor versus like the actual work itself. But I would be stressed out, and I would naturally eat chocolates or like eat whatever snacks they had in the office. Like, oh, somebody brought they brought donuts today, or somebody brought candy. So I was eating a bunch of shit. And then I also was not drinking a lot of water, because I have had so many petty ass people in my life to where somebody tried to report me for drinking water. Like, they reported me because I was drinking water and then I had to go to the bathroom like 3 times. And so they reported me saying, oh, she's going into the bathroom so she can be on her phone. And so after that, I became scared to drink fucking water and go to the bathroom too much at work, because I was like, I don't want them to think I'm going on my phone and stuff. So I was literally over here dehydrated AF. I was not eating healthy. I was eating trash. Once I quit that job, I literally lost weight. So I immediately lost like 5 pounds. And then I just became more focused on this, and my stress level has gone down so much. Like the biggest quote unquote stress that I would have in my life right now would be, how am I going to pay next month's bills? But I don't consider that to be stress because I think those thoughts anyway. When I'm at a job, I think, okay, what bills do I want to pay? Okay, let me pay next month's bills. I like to pay my bills a month ahead. So I'll be like, okay, I'm going to pay next month's bills, or I'm going to organize my money. I think those thoughts no matter what job I have, no matter how much money I have. I'm always thinking, okay, I want to pay the next bill. So unless you're a person who has paid off an entire year's worth of bills all at once, then you're probably going to be thinking about paying bills regardless. And so that's the thing that I learned is I'm going to be thinking about paying bills anyway. So I might as well think about paying bills and pay it in a way that I love, because one of the beliefs that I have now is the more fun I have, the more money I make. You know, those new age YouTubers and stuff, and those new age podcasters that are like, oh, you have to believe it and like manifest it. So honestly, that really did work for me as far as having that belief system of the more fun I have, the more money I make. Because in terms of this YouTube channel's ad revenue and all that, it really has grown ever since I went full time and just started having fun. And I just kept on having fun with my YouTube channel. A lot of people don't realize that when you are having fun with something and when you're kind of like in this state of flow, then the hours can just fly by. And then the next thing you know, you just recorded an hour-long video. The next thing you know, you just spent that time editing and you just made 5 videos. And by the way, I like to do my stuff in bulk for the most part. So usually like in the mornings, my schedule is I will wake up and I'll record like 3 videos or however many videos I feel inspired to create. I'll create as much as I can, like the audios. And then I will turn on my music. I'll put on like an album, like a Taylor Swift album or something, or like, Don't Come For Me. I know I'm a Taylor Swift person now. But I'll put on like some music and then I will just get my pictures and stuff together. And that's how I do it. So it has been worth it for me. At first, the way that I did it was, okay, I'm going to quit my job and then I'm going to give myself 3 months and see if I like being a full-time content creator, and then see how it works out financially. And then if it doesn't work out, I will just go back to working a regular job. And thankfully, I think I'm on the 4th month now, and I have not had to go back to a job. I actually don't think I will ever have to go back to a 9 to 5 the rest of my life, because even if this channel fails, oh, that's another good thing that I learned. Even if this channel fails, like let's say you're watching this and you have a YouTube channel right now and your channel ends up failing and sucking and you just delete the whole channel. Okay, but now you still have the knowledge on how to grow a channel, how to get a YouTube channel to be monetized. So that's why I feel like I probably won't ever work a regular 9 to 5 office job as an accountant again, because I don't have to. Because even if this channel failed, I could start a totally new channel that has nothing to do with this. And I know how to build it. I know that if I create 1 video a day, every single day for a year, then it's going to grow. I know that if I create 3 videos a day, every single day for a year, then I'm going to be unstoppable. I know that if I create at least 1 hour of content per day, then my watch time is going to go up. The algorithm is going to favor me. And I know that the more hours of content I put up every single day, the algorithm will favor me even more. This is why people like Shira7 have 500K subs. It's because in addition to the good content and stuff, the timing, like the length of those videos, her average view duration is going to be very high. Or like Princella, the Queen Maker, like when she does those 3-hour long live streams where she's just like shit talking or whatever, you know, she's kind of like exposing the hypocrisy that guys have and all that. That is going to make her average watch time go up a lot. So even if this channel were to fail, you still, like I still have the knowledge of how to build a channel. So if you're a content creator watching this, even if the channel that you do right now, you decide, I don't want to do this, you still have the knowledge on how to build a channel. This is not my first YouTube channel. This is like I think this is my 4th YouTube channel or something. All the other channels are gone. They're all deleted. But even if the YouTube channel you have right now, if you decide to start a new one and get rid of that one, that's okay, because you still know how to learn and grow. And I guess what made me take YouTube more seriously, I guess, as my passion. Well, actually, honestly, I wouldn't say I take it seriously like how I would take a job, just being 100% honest. But what made me want to do YouTube more was I like the unpredictability of YouTube. I like the potential growth of YouTube. So, for example, with my 9 to 5 job working as an accountant, I can tell you where I'm going to be in 5 years. I'm going to be working that same job or working another job in the same field. Most likely, I'm only going to get a raise of a couple $1,000s at best. So that's another thing that caused me to quit my job, by the way, to pursue an online business full time, because YouTube, it is like having your own online business technically. So what caused me to quit was I took a look at my income. So from the time I graduated college all the way up until about 30, 32 years old, 31. So that's about 10 years. I realized that within 10 years, I had only gained an additional about $10,000 worth of income. Like, as far as my starting income versus where I was 10 years later, I was only making about $10,000 more, maybe $20,000 more at best per year. But imagine me being on YouTube or me having my own business and it's profitable for 10 years. Well, I could 10x. Like with YouTube, I quit my job when I was only making $30 a month on YouTube. Yes, that's crazy, but I don't care. So anyway, I was only making $30 on YouTube, and then because I now had more time to make videos and I could actually catch up on my content and like I was having fun while I was doing it, it went from $30 to $300. So that's already 10x growth within 1 month. So I quickly realized how YouTube could actually be. Like, you could build up your own channel and you could, or you could potentially go viral, but I don't like to base my life on exceptions. The exceptions don't make the rule. So I don't like to base my whole YouTube channel on hoping to go viral, because I feel like it's more likely to not go viral than to go viral. But anyway, I have never in my life had a 9 to 5 job where I've 10x'd my income in 30 days. Never in my life. But being on YouTube taught me that you can 10x your income in 30 days potentially, depending on how many videos you make, depending on what type of content you talk about, depending on maybe what's trending or what your thumbnail is or what your title is. So I felt more like the opportunity for an increased income would be much better, because I was like, okay, 10 years from now, I can tell you where I'm going to be if I stay in this 9 to 5 job. I'm going to still be working a 9 to 5 job, still driving through traffic every day, or dealing with these bitch ass people, dealing with basic betties at work, getting snubbed when it comes to promotions and stuff. I'm still going to be straining my eyes on the computer for 8 hours. Or let's say I were to quit this job and do YouTube 40 hours a week and then work something else part-time, or, make money however I can 20 hours a week, whether it's DoorDashing, Ubering, selling stuff on OfferUp, doing contracted work from home stuff, like doing accounting on the side, as an independent contractor if I wanted to, working at a grocery store, for God's sakes, working at a bar or a coffee shop. Where would I be 10 years from now if I spent 40 hours a week working on my business instead of working for someone else's business? And the fact that I had already 10x'd from $30 to $300 within 30 days, I was like, wow, that means I could potentially 10x it again to $3,000 per month, or I could 10x it after that. This is how people on YouTube, this is how a lot of them are like wealthy and all that, is because they understood that concept, and that's what motivated them to stay consistent. It's the fact that, hey, all I have to do is just keep creating content. You only lose when you quit on YouTube. So that's what I like about the internet versus 9 to 5 jobs. With 9 to 5 jobs, you can be the perfect employee. You can be nice. Like, I know that I was nice. I was a good employee. I would kiss people's behinds. I would do my job correctly and still not get the type of promotion that I wanted because I'm not in charge. Versus if it's your own online business of some sort, like maybe you have a Patreon, you have a YouTube, you have like all these things going for yourself, you are the one that is in charge. So you will directly start to see results from your consistent effort the more content you make and the longer you stay on here. And also, when I was at my job and like kind of struggling with getting sad and stuff, I started listening to podcasts, and I would see all these random white girls who were like my age or younger, and they'd be like, oh yeah, I just made $2,000 by selling a course on manifestation. Or, oh yeah, I just got 40K on Instagram, and so now I have like a brand deal with Fashion Nova, and it paid 3 months worth of my rent just with a couple of social media posts. And I guess the way that I saw it was, I do feel like I did have still a little bit of an inferiority complex with being a woman of color, wanting to go into entrepreneurship because I did have that subconscious mindset of, oh, if you're a person of color, it's going to be harder for you in general. Like, it's going to be harder for you to do a business. It's going to be harder for you to do amazing, extraordinary things. So, like, as a person of color, you should be glad that you even have a job. You should be glad that you even made it to even become an accountant. You should be grateful that you're even on that level in the first place of even being an accountant. Like, why are you trying to shoot higher? That is entitlement. That is, you're trying to demand something that is not necessarily created for you. Capitalism wasn't made for you. Capitalism wasn't made to benefit women of color. So I had kind of like this subconscious inferiority complex still. And so once I realized, wait a minute, no, that's just an inferiority complex. If these girls can do it, especially some of these dumbasses that I see online, no offense, but it's like if some of these idiots can literally make it online by playing video games and talking about manifestation and crystals, then for God's sakes, I know that I can easily do something. I mean, I can make something. Even if I don't become a millionaire, I can at least replace my income. And that's another thing. Once I actually calculated the income from my job, like after you take out taxes, after you take out all the payments you have to make for maybe like a union or for like health benefits and stuff, after you take out the amount of money you're spending per month on gas and the amount of money you're spending per month on taking care of your health, like your mental health and stuff, or taking care of like all of the side effects of working a job. So for example, gaining weight. Okay, now I have to pay for a personal trainer. Well, I don't have to, but now I have to pay for a trainer or a gym membership, or I have to pay to get my blood work done because maybe my blood pressure is higher or something. So once I started to calculate the cost of working my 9 to 5 job, my income wasn't even that high. And it was easily replaceable. I was like, I could replace this entire income within a year at best. So at the very longest, the longest it would take would be maybe a year to fully replace this income. But as far as what I can live on, I can easily quit this job tomorrow. And that's exactly what I did. I quit my job the next day. Like after I actually did the math in my head and after I was talking to my friend about my dreams and stuff and how, I was just tired of working a job, I was like, why am I just talking about my dreams and then not doing anything? That's dusty. How about I actually just do it? And then the next day I ghosted my job. And I don't regret it. And I even talked about it in the Discord. I ghosted my job and then like I got in the car, like I took my wig off and everything. So the work wigs. So I was wearing like my typical work wig. So I took my wig off and I was like, yes, I actually I quit my job. So I don't have to spend money anymore on business clothes as an accountant. I don't have, because also at my job, some hating ass bitches would try to report me like, oh, well, she's wearing pants that are like showing off her shape basically, or she's wearing leggings, like you're not allowed to wear leggings, or she's wearing these pants that show off her butt shape. And it's like, no, you're just staring at my butt. How about that? You're staring at my butt. You didn't say the same talking point to Sally, who's 65 with saddlebags. You don't care when Sally wears leggings or tight pants or jeans or whatever. Sally can wear miniskirts and nobody cares. But suddenly, if I wear the exact same clothing, I have to get reported. So yes, I was spending money on work clothes that I'm not going to wear outside of work. I only wear them to work. And so I no longer had a lot of those expenses. I didn't have to pay to drive XYZ amount of miles per day or, to drive 10 miles a day. I didn't have to pay for the gas of driving 10 miles a day or pay $40 a month on new work clothes or, try to like make sure that I always have my makeup and stuff because I'm going to work. So like a professional setting. No, now I can look ugly if I want. I don't have to spend money on work clothes. I really don't have to spend as much money on makeup if I don't want to because I technically work from home now. So another way that I was able to grow my YouTube to 11K is by realizing that I'm responsible for this. I'm responsible for my success. And it also motivated me like, wow, I get to build my channel to 1 million subs if I want to. If I want to work towards 1 million subscribers, I really can. It's under my control. So that's a part of what made me feel motivated about it. It's like if I wanted to start a merch line and promote it on this channel, I could. If I wanted to promote like my mugs and stuff, by the way, get the Pretty Girl Club mug. I do have a mug. It should be underneath my YouTube videos. It's like black and pink, so make sure to get that. But it's like I could, if I wanted to, write a book and promote it. So I guess all of the possibilities is what has sustained me and what has made me motivated and excited. Anyway, what do you ladies think? Let me know in the comment section and I'll talk to you next time. Stay pretty, ladies.